Now it's time for RoadWorthy Drive with Ken Chester.
Hey everybody, Ken in studio for another hour of RoadWorthy Drive, here with the usual suspects, the RoadWorthy Drive crew, Jack, the designated adult, and the controls.
Hello.
And for the first time, you can actually see our social media diva and in her fullness.
What?
Everybody say hi to Sasha, wave Sasha. There you go. No, Jack, no. Really.
Right, Jack's like, me too.
No,
me
no.
too.
We've already introduced Jack. As usual, we'll rummage for news from the parts bin, and our main topics this week, some difficulties with automobile insurance connected to automotive lending with a major bank. We'll talk about that. Also, it's now a thing, autonomous flying taxis. We'll talk to you about that. And then finally, Arlington, Texas is parking their buses and going with an app. But it's interesting because of what is being made every day in Arlington, Texas. And I was a little baffled at that, but we will walk you through that.
Me too.
So all that and the usual hijinks right here on RoadWorthy Drive Behind the Scenes. We're so glad you could be with us for the hour. Stay tuned and hold on. Jack, 11 minutes?
11 minutes, Rico.
Yep.
Do you want to go faster? Yeah!
It's time now for RoadWorthy Drive with Ken Chester, America's premier automotive news and information talk show. Now, here he is, that automotive journalist with the photographic memory, Ken Chester.
Yeah, I got a memory, all right. Welcome to another hour of RoadWorthy Drive. I'm your host and automotive writer, photographer, and historian, Ken Chester. I'm glad that you decided to drop by. Now, regular listeners know the drill. We'll be rummaging around for automotive news and tidbits from the parts bin, along with our 3 topics of conversation. But first, adding your voice to the conversation is quick and easy. Text or call the RoadWorthy Drive line, that number, 872-222-9793. To share a thought, offer some insight, ask a question, even suggest a future story idea. If you would rather email, my address is ken@roadworthydrive.com. In any case, we want to hear from you. Now, of course, I am in studio with the other members of the RoadWorthy Drive crew. From the adult in the room, my friend and show executive producer Jack at the controls, along with our very own sweet and sassy social media diva, Sasha, holding it down on mic 2. Howdy, my peoples.
Hello. Okay,
What?
Sasha, I need you to answer me a question.
Yes,
Tell me
sir.
if I'm wrong here. The designated adult is supposed to be the oldest person in the room, correct?
No.
Not necessarily.
Really?
No.
Really.
Help a brother out here. Please.
Yeah, let it go, Jack.
I do not want to be the adult in the room.
I will be the adult in
No,
the
no.
Right
no,
here.
no, no,
no,
no.
Come
no,
on,
no,
now.
Hold on, no.
no.
I hate to side with Ken on this one, but management said we couldn't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, do you really hate to side with Ken on that?
Yes,
No.
I do.
Oh, ouch.
Because I would give up being the adult in the room.
Uh-huh. So
However, I'm also the one. I guess I have to be the adult in the room because I'm the one that deals with the suits.
There
Right.
you go.
because we have a whole lot of fun on this side of the table.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, you do.
And you can always deal with the suits. Yeah, we could kind of care less.
Yeah.
Although
yeah,
the
I
suits
know.
are kind of preoccupied this week.
Oh,
They
boy.
got some issues.
Oh, boy, were they preoccupied.
Yeah, they got
this
some
week.
issues. Anyway.
Okay, let's start talking in the parts bin, bud.
Okay, here's what I found in the parts bin.
Okay.
In a little town north of here, a little town, I believe it's called Wells, Minnesota.
Okay.
A dealer has struck upon an idea of making what's new old again. They're actually taking brand new Chevy Silverado pickups
I saw this.
and
What are they doing?
and painting them in the old Cheyenne Super 10
And
outfit of the
and-
1970s.
they are badging them the same way.
Yeah,
What?
pictures
Yes.
right here.
It is
Two-tone colors.
gorgeous.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it's called Blake Greenfield Chevrolet Buick, and they're about 2.5 hours from here, actually.
Does
Now,
it?
where in Minnesota are they?
Wells, Minnesota.
I know, but geographically.
South central Minnesota, about an exit or two due west of Interstate 35 on 90.
Did it?
Okay, they're on 90. Okay.
Yeah, they're north of 90, a little bit off in the northwest from there.
Yeah.
But basically, less than 200 miles from here.
Okay.
Now, did they have to get some kind of like okay from Chevy to do this to the brand new? Because I see it. They did a package deal.
They're a Chevy dealer. They're a brand new Chevy dealer. They're taking
Wow.
brand new Chevrolet
Yeah.
trucks and doing that. And honestly, this is really nothing new. Dealers have been doing little one-off specialty stuff on vehicles for years.
Yeah.
But in current memory, this is kind of one of the few that are doing it to brand new 2018 pickup trucks. Now, they said even a guy from New York State flew in to buy one.
Yep.
Yeah.
And other dealers are kind of, there's at least one other dealer doing something like this. So I thought I'd share that. I thought it was pretty cool.
Well, not only is it cool, but what I'm waiting for is I'm waiting for them to do the same thing with, for lack of a better, now it would be the Tahoe, but then it was the Blazer.
Yeah.
You know, that would be absolutely cool to me.
I will put it to you this way. You can get that treatment from that dealer for roughly $6,000. And as I call it, $6,000 gets you a trip back to the 1970s. They look pretty cool. The two-tone and a whole bit.
The one that I saw is either red and white or
Red
orange,
and white.
or orange and white. I couldn't quite tell.
Well, it said that Dale Earnhardt even took notice of that.
Junior,
which,
yeah.
Junior, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, even down to the Cheyenne plate
Yeah.
Yep.
and the Big 10 on the tail
Yeah.
and the two-tone,
Yep.
which is really cool. And I thought I'd share that. Now, hold on to your hats.
Okay.
How about a peer-to-peer e-commerce platform to buy and sell cars?
So, like, I'm selling a car, and I put it
To
on this
somebody
app,
else.
and then kind of like what the marketplace is on Facebook.
Not even that. The name of the company is called Blinker. I'm not making this up. Blinker.
Blinker.
They say it's the only peer-to-peer e-commerce platform that provides an end-to-end solution for anyone buying, selling, or get this, financing a car. And they just joined with Ally Bank to provide the financing.
Huh.
Yeah. With Ally, they will now pick up Ally's vehicle protection coverage,
Okay.
including Ally's Guaranteed Asset Protection Insurance and Ally Premier Protection Vehicle Service contracts.
And what's that?
That would be an extended warranty.
So you basically
Okay.
extended repair contract and your gap insurance.
Yeah.
We've talked about here on the show.
Right.
On average, Blinker says they've helped sellers save $2,900 on average,
That makes sense.
and save buyers an average of $2,000 below dealer retail. Now, let me rephrase that. They've earned an average of $2,900 over trade-in, saved buyers an average of $2,000 below dealer retail.
Okay.
Since 2013, when they were launched, the company secured 13 patents.
Wow.
And they're going to continue to roll out new features. We talked about mobility was a mosaic of all kinds of things.
Right.
Yep.
Blinker is just one more thing that people will have to choose from. Now, the company verifies the identity of every buyer, seller, and vehicle, and offers free Carfax reports, plus securely transfers funds and even assists with DMV paperwork. They're based in Denver, Colorado.
Denver, Colorado.
Yeah.
All right.
So I thought that was pretty cool. Now, we're going to get off into the weeds a little bit.
Uh-oh.
How would you like to take a Hyperloop to Cleveland?
What?
Okay, now, wait a second. Define Hyperloop.
An underground tube moving at a very high rate of
Nope.
speed from Chicago to Cleveland.
Nope.
Well, guess what?
I don't do.
I heard something about this week.
I'll put it to you like this. Chicago to Cleveland currently takes 6 hours by train,
Okay.
5 by car, an hour in the air. By Hyperloop, that would be more like 28 minutes.
What?
Yeah. Now,
Could you handle being underground for 28 minutes?
Probably.
Here's my thing. Forget passengers. Do you know what this would do for freight?
Oh.
yeah.
Forget passengers for a minute. If this was strictly a freight business with time-sensitive freight, particularly in the auto industry or any other time-sensitive industry, and I can either get my goods from Cleveland
Yep.
to Chicago and points out, or from Chicago to Cleveland for critical time-sensitive materials.
Yep.
Are you kidding me? It'd be worth it. To me, when I saw this, I said, forget passengers. make this thing liable for freight. Now, it's a real thing. They're looking at some initial agreements with some of the state regulatory agencies to actually do some preliminaries on whether or not this would be feasible. And honestly, people, we've been here before. Okay, so maybe it's an underground high-speed loop, but 200 years ago, it was the Erie Canal that did this. I mean, transportation that got you from New York City to the Great Lakes to Chicago.
Yep.
So all it is it's the 21st century pitch, even for railroads. Railroads did the same thing. All we're looking at now is another mode of transportation to get from point A to point B. Now, we heard about Elon Musk and their boring company. We talked about that, the same kind of concept what he's looking at.
Mm-hmm.
This is Midwestern by a whole different company. Has nothing to do with Elon Musk.
Well, and what my question is is Illinois going to allow this to happen?
Right now, Ohio and Illinois agencies are allowing them to develop a feasibility study to investigate potential routes, determine costs, and try to address engineering challenges. It's a thing. Now, now they made it clear no public money's been spent, and they don't plan to spend any. But they figure that getting into this, Cleveland stands to benefit more economically than Chicago. Their argument, Cleveland-based businesses greater access to major corporate presence in Chicago and its emerging leadership role in technology. So something to look for. Another something. I don't know so much about passengers. I really think freight would pay the bills.
Couldn't you do both though?
You could, but
like if they did the last 2 or 3 cars in the.
You could, but we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
When I return, topic A is a consumer alert about an automotive insurance that was forced on consumers by a major national bank. Stay tuned. You're listening to RoadWorthy Drive with Ken Chester.
You're listening to RoadWorthy Drive with Ken Chester on the RoadWorthy Drive Radio Network.
Hyperloop.
You know, and here's my thing. I don't do bridges very well, and I don't think that I would do tunnels very well. But I would do that because I'm interested. One, how does it feel as a passenger? Did it say what speeds you get up to?
Let me put it to you this way. You're looking at about 350 miles from Chicago to Cleveland.
Right.
28 minutes.
Yeah, I know, right? Do the math.
You got to be close to 700 to 1,000 miles an hour.
No.
Not 1,000.
No, not that fast.
You don't think it's that fast?
If you're in 28 minutes, you're about 175 miles an hour.
Right.
Wow. I was way off.
Or 350 miles, you'd have to be and you're there in 28 minutes. All right, maybe 400 miles an hour.
Right.
Yeah, or a little faster, but not 1,000.
Wow.
Okay, but here's my thing. One, what does that feel like to me sitting in my seat?
Have you flown a plane?
I have flown on a plane.
Not the same way.
Okay, but is it the same way? So, is it the same way as when you're taking off, or is it the same way when you're in the steady flight?
I'm thinking you would have some acceleration and deceleration, much the same way you would in a plane.
Okay.
At those speeds, you'd have to start slowing down early. It wouldn't be, slam on the
Right,
brakes.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No.
Now, here's my other thing, because I have to agree with Jack. While I do think that some people will probably use that as it's, when it first comes out, right? I do think that the future in that is going to be more towards freight and getting goods.
That was me, not Jack. Just saying.
What?
Yeah.
It was him.
Yeah.
I was trying to give you props, Jack.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Hold it. The Illinois Department of Transportation and North Ohio area-wide coordinating agency, the company is called Hyperloop Transportation Technologies. Now, they're based in California, but they've just signed a partnership with both of these agencies. The study that they're looking at, the feasibility study, is going to take 6 months, and we'll see.
Well, and the other question that I have is what is going to be the safety things to stop this train if something does go awry.
Well, right, because here's my other thing, as I love, like the natural disaster type movies, 2012, that kind of thing. Earthquake happens, even there, and all of a sudden, or let's just say what are they called?
And when's the last earthquake?
Sinkhole.
Excuse me. When's the last earthquake? Has there ever been between Cleveland and Chicago?
Wasn't there one that hit just outside of Chicago?
Aren't they near the fault that we're near in Missouri?
No,
that's called.
No, that's the New Madrid.
Yes, that is.
And no.
No. Okay, then never mind. Anyway, sinkhole.
No.
No. Nobody's
No.
gonna go. Anyway,
Keep trying.
I'm trying. I still think that I would probably do it at least twice because I would like to experience that.
I'd be all about the freight. I'm telling you, that is really where the money is.
Well, and I'll tell you right now, as somebody who's been in an industry for almost all of my life,
right?
There are things that unfortunately I need immediately, if not sooner, because it will stop me from doing my work.
But would it be 350 miles away?
Potentially. Okay. But I've driven to Denver to pick up a certain type of wood fencing picket.
Yikes!
And that was literally leave Friday morning at 6 o'clock, get back Saturday afternoon at 4:30.
Yikes! I've driven to Denver. That's not cute.
No. And basically what we did was we left Des Moines at 5:30. We drove to Sterling. Or I'm sorry, we went to Denver, picked it up, drove back to Sterling, stayed the night, got up from there, and drove home.
I love Sterling. Nice town.
Sterling's a beautiful town.
Railroad downtown.
Yep.
Loved Sterling.
Sure. Now, excuse me, sir, which one am I going after first?
You, sir, are... Hold on. I got to look at my paperwork.
Is it golf or is it automobile?
You had to ask me.
They do this kind of talking thing.
Yeah, I know.
All the time.
Hold on.
And I'm
Find
just
my piece of paper.
fiddling around on social media.
Bless your heart.
I know.
And that's your job.
Right?
Thank you.
Shh. You don't need to tell people that I'm actually working.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Right?
People.
Then they'll actually expect things.
I know, right?
Well, and see, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it.
Come
I'm not
on.
No. No, this is one of those times
Oldsmobile, Jack.
where discretion is the better part of valor.
Oh.
The Oldsmobile one runs first.
Your water.
Oh, man. I did. Yeah, you can't leave me around water. It's not.
Oh, hurry up.
Yeah, no kidding. We're going to have a problem.
We're going to be stopped for a second, folks.
Yeah, we are. The talent spilled some water. Not good in a studio of electronics.
No.
Real bad. She didn't have any tissue or paper.
Nope.
Or nothing?
No, she just ran it. She just ran down the hall to get some. Okay, note to self, bring a rag.
Yeah, no kidding. Note to self, keep the water away. Thank you.
I'll be right back.
I'm about to say, best to grab another set, dear.
Yeah, good idea. Oh, well. Yeah, the good, bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
Move this mess out the way.
That's why I leave a lid on mine.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, been here a little over a year. Just did it first time, and this will be the last time I do that.
Yeah. A quick story, Ken.
Yep.
When I first got to our flagship
Mm-hmm.
back in 1989, yes, folks, I'm old.
Don't tell anybody.
I got informed of about a $20,000 Coke
Oh.
that got spilled on the board.
Oh. I'd be scared to have any beverage near the board.
Like I said,
On
why do you,
that side, yeah.
why do you think I have mine with a lid on it?
Understood. Obviously, to say that operator was summarily dismissed.
No,
Really?
no.
Have they paid it off yet?
She got a talking to, and then about 6-8 months later, she was gone. I think I was actually the one that replaced her.
Okay.
She decided to go on to other opportunities.
Probably with a little help.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
We'll get this resolved here in a moment. Yeah, we are stopped on account of water because the talent here spilled some water. Brilliant guy. Yeah.
Okay,
I'll
what
tell
are
you
we?
fix
What are we?
that.
What are we? 3 days of spring, Ken?
Pardon me?
What are we? 3 days of spring?
Somewhere close to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it wants to snow, rain, hail, sleet.
Oh, Friday night around here was interesting.
Ooh, yeah. We got hail where I was at.
I heard that. You know, I'm laying in bed, and all of a sudden it's like, I literally heard the windows rattle. I'm like, what in the world?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize we were having a lightning show.
Oh, that too. We had, like I said, we got a little bit of everything.
And then we got 2 inches of snow.
Yeah, well, you got 2 inches down there?
Oh yeah, we had 2 inches down here, and summarily it was gone by noon.
We actually got hail and sleet
When yesterday, Friday?
Friday.
Yeah.
Friday. Okay, seriously. At my house.
Yeah.
Right. Friday. We weren't scheduled to get anything.
Yeah.
It came down. It was smaller than pea size. It was like pebble size hail. Came down, coated everything.
Mm-hmm.
Ice covered.
Mm-hmm.
When I got up, and I actually went like locally in my town to go get something to eat. I didn't, because I was going to go grocery shopping.
Mm-hmm.
That was an X-nay, right? When I got up to take the dogs out Friday night, probably about 10 or 11 o'clock, everything was coated, not quite an inch, maybe just shy of half an inch of just ice. Everything. And it was still coming down like these hard little pebbles of ice.
Right.
Saturday morning, again, everything covered. By 11:15, gone. And it all melted away.
Did you have any snow?
I think for like 15 minutes, there was a light snow, but then it went right back to
To the other stuff.
the ice.
I have a friend of mine that lives in Ames, and they got buried.
In snow?
6 inches.
Whoa!
I didn't even know that.
Wow.
Basically, they got the thunder snow with lightning.
Oh, wow.
Fun times.
Now, see, I remember, and it's been some years now, so maybe 6-8 years ago, I remember the thunder or the snow tornado that Missouri had. And the guy, I followed him on social media, and he was a storm tracker. And he flew in from, because I think he's based down in Texas. He flew in on the chance of being there in case they actually had a tornado that day. And thank goodness, and he's got like the actual video of that snow tornado in Missouri. It was like once in a lifetime, because I remember I'd be like, I'm going on a road trip to Missouri.
Okay. Well, speaking of road trip to Missouri, are we ready?
I've
How does
been
that
ready.
cue in with
nine-
a road trip to Missouri?
9 minutes.
9 minutes.
You've got our ad queued up.
Yes, I do.
Okay, it's party time.
All right, here we go. Hang on, that's called I made a mistake.
It's all good.
It's all good. Here we go.
A young family. A fun family. One thing needed to put them in action. Oldsmobile's F-85 station wagon. Roomier than ever. And at a new lower price. One-piece tailgate for easy loading and unloading. 20% more cargo space. He likes the Oldsmobile styling. The longer wheelbase for easier handling. She likes the comfort, the handsome interior. They all think it's the greatest. Any way you look at it. Any way you power it. With a Jetfire Rocket V8 or an Econoway V6. The bigger, lower-priced F-85 station wagon. At your Oldsmobile quality dealers. For 64, go Olds. Where the action is.
So what do you got against the Econoway 6?
Okay, it's nothing against the 6. It has more to do with I just love the sound effects that they use in those old commercials.
Yeah, well, station wagons were before minivans, which were before crossovers.
Now, you have to understand something. I absolutely love station wagons.
You know, I can't.
It doesn't matter.
You know, I can't speak to your personal situation.
Stop.
But they sold millions of them.
You know what? I get that. I get that. No, there's no love for the station wagon.
What can I tell you?
Okay, I got one quick question.
Yes.
What year exactly did they bring out the V6?
Well, let's see. That might have been a straight 6 in that car. V6 probably would have been the late 50s. But in the case of General Motors, here's the thing.
Okay.
They were 4-cylinder until the late 40s. I'm sorry, late 30s. Then it was 6. 1955 is when everybody lost their minds when they came up with the short block Chevy V8. So I would say that the V6 probably came after that.
Okay.
So, and I need to clue the audience. If you're just joining us, and we get into these conversations, you've reached RoadWorthy Drive, and welcome. I'm Ken Chester here with the RoadWorthy Drive crew, Jack at the controls, and our sweet and sassy Sasha, and station wagon hater, holding it down at mic 2.
Wow.
Yeah, well, hey, you said you didn't like them.
I mean,
I'm just saying.
Just bust me out like that, though?
Totally.
Wow.
Totally.
So much.
Yeah. Well, folks, over the past number of years, we've kept you, our listener, up to date and informed about product issues and recalls. Now, this particular consumer alert has nothing to do with vehicle recalls per se, but does have to do with automotive loans and, more importantly, car insurance. It seems that one lender has forced expensive automotive insurance on customers who received car loans from them. And what makes it worse is these folks had insurance.
Oh.
And what's even worse than that, the bank got a commission on the added insurance they sold.
Are you kidding? Let me guess who this is.
Go for it.
Wells Fargo.
Absolutely.
Ding, 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 ding.
We have a winner. Now, bear in mind, folks, this has happened some years ago, and they caught up with him starting late last year. But right now, it's kind of came in a couple of waves. This last wave affected 500,000 drivers. And the government is investigating the abuses all the way back some 12 years to 2005 and figures that they need to refund a total of $182 million.
Okay, what years are we talking about? From when to when?
It didn't get into that, but at least back to 2005.
Okay,
So here's my question.
So over the last, probably around 2013-ish.
Okay, so I would be okay because I had a car loan for a very short period of time 2 years ago with Wells Fargo.
So this is not a practice that they were doing currently?
No.
Okay.
No.
And it's taking them this long to figure it out?
Well, this is a confidential report. It was originally reported by the New York Times last October, which criticizes Wells Fargo for forcing hundreds of thousands of borrowers to buy unneeded auto insurance when they took out a car loan. And like I said, which was disgusting, they got paid commissions on it.
Okay, now here's my other thing, because we've talked auto insurance on this show before.
Yes, we have.
Now, was the auto insurance, just to add more onto this discuss, was the auto insurance actually,
What I have to wonder is,
was it enough coverage?
Well,
that's not
what I'm wondering is, were they actually doing what I'm going to call, quote, gap insurance to make sure that their loan got paid?
No. This typically banks have the right to put insurance, what they call forced insurance on you if insurance is lapsed and there's no proof that you had carried insurance.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
This is not that case. This was reported last July in a report by the regulator, the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency. Now, here's the kicker. Here is the kicker. Originally, it was 800,000 people who took out car loans from Wells Fargo were charged for auto insurance they did not want or need, typically because they already had coverage. But I go further. The internal report said that the cost of the unneeded insurance, which covered collision damage, cost 274,000 Wells Fargo customers to fall behind in their car loans, and resulted in 25,000 vehicles wrongly repossessed.
Oh my
goodness.
gosh.
Oh, you want to go a little worse?
Yeah, let's do that.
Customers on active military duty were among those hurt by the practice.
I feel a rant coming on, and I'm going to have to stop it down because I could just, at this point,
How?
But there's more.
Of course there is. 'Cause
Wells Fargo's insurance practices and violated a section of the Federal Trade Commission Act which prohibits unfair and deceptive acts in commerce, the report said. For example, the bank did not break out the insurance costs embedded in the car loans. Rather, it included the amounts owed on unneeded coverage in the monthly payments, which is why most people didn't know it.
So, okay, what you're saying is, if I would have applied for a loan and Wells Fargo came back and they were the one that I chose, it would have said on my 2013 vehicle,
Whatever.
My payment, it would have just said my payment is, let's just say $350.
right.
But it could have been.
$225.
So you're saying that insurance might have cost me over $100 a month?
Oh, yeah.
Plus the
Because
interest.
And they were charging me interest?
Oh yeah, because what they did is exactly what Ken said. They hit it in the loan costs.
Okay, let me wrap this up by saying this. The bank will refund $25 million to 490,000 customers who so-called had this coverage. It will refund $39 million to 60,000 customers whose customers didn't receive the full disclosures from their vendor, the insurance company that carried that coverage, required by 5 states those customers are based in. And then finally, $16 million will be refunded to 20,000 customers where the additional cost of this insurance contributed to a default which resulted in the repossession of their vehicle.
Okay, is Wells Fargo going to take care of their credit reports?
They did not mention that, but I would imagine that would have to be part of it.
Oh, it would have to be.
Yeah. So, folks, buyer beware. You stay tuned to this program, you'll learn about stuff like this. And try to keep you ahead of it.
And now we're coming to the break, and I'm going to go cool.
Yes, he is. Coming up next, it's not George Jetson, but it's a now thing. A commercial autonomous flying taxi service. Find out where. This is RoadWorthy Drive.
This is RoadWorthy Drive.
This is another reason why I will never, ever deal with Wells Fargo.
Okay, but here is my thing, all right? I don't care if you've been with Wells Fargo for like 10, 15, 30 years, your business is already... How can you morally keep your money in this bank?
Be nice.
How could you possibly?
People, let's take a step back and look at the larger picture. This is one example. We don't know where else something like this may be happening.
I know that's right.
This is the reason I talked about the consumer financial, that one agency that they're trying to dismantle. This is the kind of thing they go after.
Yeah.
Without, you need this kind of oversight in order to find this stuff. Because the bigger thing we didn't talk about during the piece was that even when people figured it out, they went to the insurance company that Wells Fargo used for this coverage. They had a heck of a time getting the insurance company to discontinue the coverage even when they proved that they had the policy, that they had insurance
And they
coverage.
have not named the insurance company.
Oh, they did.
Wait, who was it?
Who is it?
It was National. Hold on. Let me get it for you exactly. Oh, they named National General.
Was it that General's Insurance?
No.
No.
Okay.
No.
Not the same people.
Okay, but here's my thing. I mean, obviously we know some laws were broken.
A lot of laws were broken, state and federal.
Who's going to be prosecuted for this?
They're going
What
to be,
heads are going to roll for this?
they're going to be heavily fined.
Aww.
Yeah, but you know what? Heavily fined.
Aww.
Well, what is heavily fine going to do? We saw what happened when they created all those accounts.
Yep.
And what
Yeah.
I think the head of Wells Fargo retired, and he's got his pension. And
Yeah.
I will put it to you this way. This is why, as a consumer, your voice matters, and you need to speak up.
Well,
And how you handle this, you go to your elected officials, and you demand. They work for us, regardless of what party they're from.
Yep.
They work for us.
Yeah, they do.
They represent us. And if us ain't happy, they shouldn't be.
Well, okay, and seriously, people need to start putting their money where their morals are. You have a choice. No matter where you are in this United States, you have a choice where you decide to do your banking. If your particular bank is not doing business in a morally upstanding way, we're not even bringing in legal.
Okay, but you got to know, which means as an informed consumer, you need to look at their state records, which are public. You need to do the due diligence. To be blunt, how many people do that?
Not enough. They could sure pop off, statistics for their local, sports team.
Granted, but hold on. It's fine. I've been on this horse for years, so this is not new for me.
You need to make way on that horse.
Yeah. Well, all I'm saying is, buyer beware, do your research. That's what we're about.
This is why when I do my banking,
You do credit union?
I do either a credit union
Yep.
or I do a local bank.
That's what I do.
Because, and Ken and I share a bank.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, I would much rather deal with them because I actually have somebody that I can walk into their office, shut the door, and go, "What the are you doing?"
Yep.
Done it.
Been in the next T-shirt.
Yep. I mean, that's me. I mean, I
have done that.
I pulled my money out of a standard. In fact, the last bank account I had was Wells Fargo, and I pulled all my money out.
So wait a minute. So you're hiding it under your mattress now?
I am.
Jack, field trip.
No. What? No. It's hiding it. Yeah, try and get past my dog.
Piece of cake.
Ken.
Yes.
Steak.
What? Why you gotta do that?
Well,
No.
There you go.
No, all we gotta do is have a steak. We can occupy the dogs if we wanted
There
to,
you
but
go.
there's no way. Heck, I'm going with him.
Right.
Wow.
So,
But yeah, no,
Ouch, people.
it's one of
Ouch.
those things where
Feelings are hurt.
I learned
Haters all over.
I learned to stay local, or credit union.
Well,
And I like my local bank. I didn't get all crazy. I still stand by my prepaid card. Like I've got a prepaid
and that's fine.
PayPal card.
But
and that's fine.
I've always been a supporter of do business locally when you can.
Yeah.
Well, and
Always have been. And in fact, that has been a value of this program.
Yep.
We're for local, American made whenever possible, and ask when you don't have that choice. And I've been that way for years.
Yep.
So,
But again, this is another example of, and we said this in the production. I said this in the production meeting.
wait a minute, we had a production meeting?
Yeah, we
You
had a
weren't there.
production
You weren't
meeting,
invited.
and you were here.
Oh, I must have hid from the suits. I don't know.
At what point in time? And I'm saying this generally.
Okay.
You have a company here who has violated multiple laws on multiple occasions on different subjects.
Yep.
Okay.
Across the board.
At what point in time does our government decide that, okay, this ain't going to fly, it's time to bust them up?
Okay, well, here's the thing. One, they have to have the authority to do that. That is given to them by Congress. Two, Congress needs to simplify. Because one small bank that I do business with, the president of that bank, and I've had these conversations down through the years, and he told me how many different agencies regulate them. It's ridiculous. So there's some work that needs to be done because there's a lot of overlap, and then there's stuff where the ball can be dropped. So what you're really talking about is something that will probably never happen because the banking lobby is so strong.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, Jack.
You know, it's not so much breaking up a big bank, but having one state regulatory, one federal regulatory for that bank that they're responsible to, and if they break the laws, there are consequences. Until we can get there, then you're going to see stuff like this, and the other stuff, too big to fail. We've been talking off-air about Dodd-Frank and how they're about to change that to let a lot of banks off of the requirement hook that Dodd-Frank required for banks $50 billion and over. Now they're going to up that to $250 billion, which means if you're a bank, $50 billion to $249 billion, you're going to be off the hook for a lot of those reporting and compliance and regulatory stuff.
Which the only people that this makes sense to are the ones that want
With money? Obviously, nobody in this
Yeah.
room.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's one of those things where when are we as the American consumer and as the American people going to take back and make our government actually protect us as the American consumer and as the American people?
I will close that with this, because we're not a political show, but I will close it with this point.
Mm-hmm.
When we decide to get into the process, demand accountability from the people we send to represent us, and hold them accountable when they don't.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
Well, and here's the other thing that has bothered me on this subject at all.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say that I had come into $30,000.
Okay.
Payday! Hey!
If I were to go to the bank
Mm-hmm.
and I said, okay, I want to see what $10,000 looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you realize I'm going to get reported to the IRS because that money is mine?
Yep.
Here's the problem. You know that. The bank doesn't know that.
How does the bank know when I got the money in the check?
But if he wants
And supposedly the only legal tender there is bills.
But here's the issue. It's not so much that you ask to see it. It's when you transfer money in cash over $9,500 that it triggers reporting under money laundering laws.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the problem is, and always has been, when you live in a free society, there is a line that is always gray about protecting the private rights of a private citizen and the public good. And it's never a straight line. It is always gets gray when you get towards the line because of situations.
Okay, so I'm dealing with a bell curve. Pretty much.
Not so much a bell curve. It's situational. I mean, we want protection. We don't want money launderers running free and handling drug money and harming our public. But by the same token, there are situations where it may run afoul for particularly decent reasons. We all consent when we fly to the TSA inspecting whatever.
Right.
Now, some people may take offense that, why do you need to know all that? Why do you need to search me at that level? Well, you want to be safe? You don't want to be safe. And that is a constant battle. It is never black and white.
Well,
ever.
And with this one, we're not ever going to win this.
I don't know if it's a win. I think that we accept as a country, as a free country, a certain amount of freedom, but that freedom is tempered by the need to protect, and there's for a certain level of safety, there's a certain level of freedom you give up.
Yep.
You know, I mean, if you want a totally free society, there are risks, no protection. If you decide on a totally safe society, there's no freedom. So you get into that. But people, we can talk about this forever.
We'll talk about this later.
9 minutes, third segment.
Yep.
Let's do this.
We get on these rants a lot.
Yeah, I know, right?
He knew what he was getting into, though, when he brought up Wells Fargo.
What?
Yeah, you knew.
Yeah, you knew.
9 minutes, people.
9 minutes. Here we go.
Canvas. I'm sorry. I say that it is something that gets...
Why do you do that?
Because it gets her wound up.
I love
We don't need her wound up.
Oh, my. Oh, but between our little talk between segments? Yeah. No, that's called a little bit of getting even. If you're just joining us, folks, this is the second half of this hour of RoadWorthy Drive. I'm so glad you could join us. I'm Ken Chester. Now, for those of you who want or need more than your fair share of the road, particularly if you're curious about what we talk about behind the scenes as we're producing the show, be sure to check out the show website, and that's RoadWorthyDrive.com. And that's all one word, RoadWorthyDrive.com. Listen to past shows, watch the in-studio antics, and find out what got us so wound between the breaks, and more. You can see pictures of our RoadWorthy Drive crew, as well as discover what we are doing in the world of social media. Sasha is our resident geek and social media diva who keeps things interesting and entertaining online between shows. See how she keeps the social in our social media? You'll be glad you did. Right, Sasha?
Absolutely.
There you go. There you go.
Absolutely.
Yep. The words of approval from Sasha. Okay. Larry Page
Yes.
of Google.
Okay, who is Larry Page?
One of the founders of Google.
Okay.
Now called Alphabet. And Elon Musk. Yes, down girl. It's okay. Of Tesla have a lot in common.
Did you have stock in Tesla?
I do.
No, you don't.
With as much as it gets brought up, I gotta wonder if he's
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
No, I have no position in
Hint,
Tesla.
hint, Tesla. Hint, hint, Tesla. Hint, hint,
Canvas.
Tesla.
Hush. Canvas is a Ford product. You might as well tell them what it is.
Canvas is the future of automotive ownership
Why did
and
I let her
mobility.
go?
Ford Motor Company has decided to step into the future and offer something that actually makes sense to the everyday automotive consumer.
Okay, you get that out your system?
I did.
Okay, folks, in case you're wondering why I had her do that plug, look for in shows probably in April where Sasha is going to actually talk about car sharing and unique car leasing, of which Ford's Canvas program is one of them. The lady is on a tear. She's got some good information, and we'll be launching our first Tech with Sasha in the next month or so.
Not only is she excited about this,
Yes, I am.
She wants one.
but we may have converted her to Ford.
Yeah.
Shh.
Yeah.
Stop
And-
putting out ugly rumors.
Hey, don't slam the blue oval.
Whoa.
Full disclosure, I have an F-150.
Right?
Do you
Yes.
kiss the oval every night?
No.
Do you caress it gently and whisper it to sleep?
No.
Family show, Sasha.
No.
You know, just let that go.
All right.
Let
We're talking
that
about
Going back to
Larry
Yeah.
Page.
Yes.
And Elon Musk.
And Elon Musk.
Yes. They've both built widely successful companies. They've branched out into other ventures that one might say is more passion than profit. For Musk, it was disguised with SpaceX.
Yeah.
And underground with the Boring Company. And no joke, that's really what he calls it.
Yep.
The Boring Company.
Now, mind you, we're boring underground. He's not boring.
Right.
Again, tongue-in-cheek. For Larry Page, however, it's been autonomous flying aircraft. He is so passionate about it, he actually founded not one, but two companies that are pursuing the same goal. And he is the one behind the world's first commercial autonomous air taxi service. Now is the time. New Zealand is the place.
So, Jack,
And
we're going to
that's
have to
our-
get...
Okay, pick the most remote place in the world to do this.
I can think of some islands even more remote.
Well, but I'm talking about something that does have some place to land.
There are some islands even more remote, somewhere in the middle of the Pacific somewhere.
So,
Yeah, but there's not room to land.
Jack,
There is.
what we're going to need from you,
Okay.
we're going to need 3 airline tickets to New Zealand for research for the RoadWorthy Drive to test out these autonomous air taxis.
Now here's the thing. Yes.
Can I tell her no now? That's what the sister's going to tell me.
Hey, yeah, tell her.
No.
There you go. Wait a minute. The self-flying taxi has a name.
What's its name?
What's its name?
Cora.
How are they spelling that?
C-O-R-A. Cora.
Okay.
Say hi to Cora.
Hi,
The
Cora.
self-flying taxi. It has a dozen lift fans, all powered by batteries, and this is a vertical takeoff and landing system, so you don't need a runway. It can fly about 62 miles and carry 2 passengers. I'll let that in it.
Charging time.
Not nearly that long.
And what does it cost?
Hold on. Once in the air, a single propeller drives Cora at about 110 miles an hour at altitudes between 500 and 3,000 feet. The plane has 3 independent flight computers and can navigate even if one goes down, while each rotor works independently. And to answer Jack's question he hasn't asked yet, if everything goes kablooey, it has a parachute for landing without the fans. Because I knew you were going to ask.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
they want to make New Zealand its base to make a future where the freedom of flight belongs to everyone in the same way that the Wright brothers initially took off in North Carolina
Now,
in 1903.
this is my question. Is there a reason why, kind of building on Jack's question, is there a reason why they picked New Zealand?
They don't say, but this is a test.
Right.
They said the companies have not put a timeline on it would be available for rides to the public.
Are they built yet? Do they
Well,
have time
I'll tell you this. The timeline was they built one that could hover in 2011.
Yep.
Their first self-piloted one was 2014, and they started the beginning of self-piloted testing in New Zealand last October. However, Kitty Hawk, which is the name of the company that's operating it, is not the only company working on air taxi concepts. We actually reported several years ago about the Chinese company Ehang with their autonomous single-passenger helicopter.
Yep.
And we talked extensively about Uber Elevate, which wanted to launch in Dallas, Dubai, L.A. in 2020. They were going to use a NASA-based air traffic control system. We talked about that extensively. Uber actually put out a 98-page white paper that we covered about a year ago.
I remember that.
Yeah. So, by no means is Kitty Hawk alone. And there's a major commercial aircraft manufacturer testing their autonomous flying taxi, and that's Airbus out of Europe. And they call theirs Valhalla. And they call it the Electric Autonomous Flying Vehicle, and they're based in Silicon Valley, believe it or not. And it took they said it looks like a mashup between a flying car and a racing drone. And it took its first 53-second maiden voyage at Pendleton, Oregon, their base test site where they're based. So this thing is happening, people. You might have autonomous cars in the air, autonomous cars on the ground, autonomous cars underneath the earth. Autonomy.
Okay, we need this.
We do.
Okay, enough of that.
Oh, wow. I don't get all. I don't get the final. Dun, 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 dun.
Not when you're out of time.
Finally, a Texas town ditches his bus service for an app. But this is no ordinary town. Find out the amazing difference. RoadWorthy Drive with Ken Chester is heard on the RoadWorthy Drive Radio Network.
This is RoadWorthy Drive with Ken Chester.
Was it the Japanese? Was it Japanese or Chinese? The one that we did the show on a couple years ago. But they had a countdown going on their website, if I remember right, about they were supposed to unveil or reveal, whatever you want to say, their vehicle. Okay, and then that got pushed back, and then it got pushed back again. And the last time I actually checked out their website, it wasn't. Like the website wasn't even working. They were just like in development.
Were you talking about Faraday Future again?
No. Stop. Okay. No.
The Chinese government wants to talk to him.
I know that's right. Mm-hmm. And see, his partner went on and is doing his own thing now.
Yeah, he left, took some engineers with him.
Yeah, and you know what? It's one of those things where now looking back, I bet you he's like, I am so glad I didn't go back. Because he left, and then they tried to reach an agreement between the two. Mm-hmm. And Faraday just wasn't, I mean, he wasn't meeting them in the middle, so the guy was just like, fine, I'll just go out and do my own thing. Side note, though, I wish I can get to a point in my financial situation where my multi-billion-dollar company is just my passion company, where I'm sending a $100,000 vehicle into space on a rocket just because I can.
Hey, don't be hating on Musk.
I'm not hating. I'm just saying.
But while we're talking about automakers, have you heard any more about Lucid Motors?
You know what? I really haven't. But then again, I haven't really been keeping my pulse down on them lately.
Yeah, we need to find out. For those of you that may not know, we identified and actually took pictures of the New York Auto Show last year. Lucid Motors, they got a beautiful prototype. They're all electric. They're about the size of a Tesla Model S, and they were looking at probably launching next year. And it seemed really promising. We haven't heard they did like testing and validation. So that, I mean, they're making progress. We haven't heard a lot about them lately, and we might have an update for you here.
Right now?
I don't know. If not right now, then maybe in the weeks to come. We'll see how they're doing. We'll peek in and do a little more. Are we ready for our last?
No.
Oh, okay.
We're not ready yet. I have to find something, sir.
While we're waiting and getting back on the air thing, you do know that the parent of Volvo bought one of the premier air taxi flying car companies last year.
Who did?
Geely.
Yes.
Yeah, they bought the company that had actually marketed a flying car starting in 2012. You got your eyes wide open.
Okay, I'm ready.
Hold on a minute. She's got something.
I'm looking at the Lucid.
Yeah. What do you got?
They have got a really cool. It's got a picture of the Lucid car, which looks amazing. But it's an app.
I've actually seen it
Yeah.
in person.
Brag. Keep
And
it.
it looks amazing.
We'll just wait here. Go ahead.
No,
Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. And the app, it's talking about whether I guess you're managing all your social media or all your social aspects through the Lucid app.
That would make sense.
So your car is completely connected. Hold on, I'm going to go ahead and click on reserve.
Okay,
my Lucid.
I'll tell you what.
Yes, sir.
Let's hold on to that. We can talk about it when we have a little more time and a little more rounded out, because obviously sounds like they're doing what Ford and Fiat Chrysler and GM is doing now, only they're doing it typically either through Apple CarPlay or Android, and they're talking to Alexa.
Did they ever-
She needs to be any more busy.
Oh, hey, that was my other question. With the autonomous vehicle that they were talking about, you said her name was Cora.
Mm-hmm.
Did they happen to say anything about the voice? So is
No.
it going to be like
No.
this British
No.
female voice
No.
talking to you
No.
while you're flying?
No.
Uh-huh.
No.
All right.
All we know, it's Cora. 8 minutes, 50 seconds, people. Last installment, first hour.
Here we go.
This is the final part of this hour of RoadWorthy Drive. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Ken Chester. Mobility. I have talked about this term a lot. In short, it reflects the growing number of choices that consumers have to travel from point A to point B. Now, I consider it more of a mosaic of choice due to the many evolving different ways and methods currently being introduced. Compared to just 20 years ago, the traditional way of owning a vehicle and its relationship to personal freedom for many is changing, and for some, dramatically.
That would be me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Arlington, Texas is one such town.
Mm-hmm.
It might surprise you to know that they're ditching their bus service for a ride-sharing app. Okay, you say, I have talked about towns exploring many different ways to get their citizens from point A to point B. But here's the thing. Did I happen to mention Arlington, a city of 400,000 people,
Yep.
considered a transit desert by transportation authorities, is ground zero for the manufacture of all General Motors large SUVs?
Yes, you did.
That means since 1997, Arlington has been there in the manufacture of the Chevy Tahoe, Suburban, GMC Yukon, Yukon XL, Cadillac Escalade, and Escalade SUV. All large people haulers.
So obviously they're going to be using GM vehicles for this.
No, ma'am.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
What are they going to use?
Are you ready? Okay, first of all,
Yeah.
the app is called VIA, VIA.
Okay.
Just got a $250 million finance round from the parents of Mercedes-Benz Daimler. And the first 10 vehicles used in this are Mercedes-Benz vans.
The Sprinter?
I think even the smaller one, but the smaller one, I can't think of it. Merza something that they just introduced.
Okay.
Yeah. In Arlington, Texas.
Again, the ground zero for GM. Which one is their mobile app? Maven?
But you said it was 10.
10 to start.
Okay, but if they're going to ditch their buses, they're going to have more than 10.
Well, let's back up a minute. It's not the full city. They're replacing basically a charter bus service they were using.
Okay.
Arlington does not have border-to-border bus service today. Arlington was built on what they considered the good old traditional suburban model of motor vehicles. Again, it's ironic. Did I mention Arlington, Texas builds full-size GM SUVs? Did I also mention that General Motors Corporation, in wages, every day that plant is open, spends $1 million a day?
What a wonderful way to give back to your community by, just telling.
Oh, did I also
Well,
mention?
but you gotta say this. It's the city that's done it.
Oh yeah.
Not GM.
Did I also mention they build 6,200 SUVs a week?
Wow.
Yeah, I'm just letting that settle.
I mean, how much? And I want to believe in my heart of hearts that Arlington first went to GM and was like, hey, this is what we're thinking about doing. Let's just say, because we reported it here on an earlier show, that GM was reporting massive record numbers sales in their bigger SUVs.
Okay, but hang on for a second, Sasha.
Yeah.
Let me give you something about dealing with cities, because I've had to deal with the one we live in.
Okay. All right.
They probably put out an RFP. RFP stands for Request for Proposal.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
And that's probably how they did it. Now, did GM file the request for the proposal
We don't know.
as Arlington asked for, or was Mercedes-Benz the only one that did it?
Okay, now let's be clear. This is not a Mercedes-Benz owned company.
Mm-mm.
They have Daimler investment, but Via is an app.
Okay.
Now, here's the thing. In the operating area that they're going to operate, which again is not the whole city,
Okay.
and they're going to be rolling it out to more areas as it goes on. So let's be fair here.
Okay.
Fares during the week, $3 a ride, $10 for a weekly pass, and your tax dollars are subsidizing that. The city's going to put up about $322,500. The feds are going to put up for the first year $600,000 in this experiment. I'm going to let you brew on that.
Okay.
You brew it.
Here's my question.
Go ahead, Jack.
Is there a mileage restriction?
No.
No, it literally took the place of the charter van program that they are.
But I'm assuming that they got to stay within the city limits of Arlington.
Well, yeah, because that's the thing. They're not going 20, 30 miles out of town.
To Dallas, to Fort Worth,
No. This is strictly within the city limits. And then again,
It's
not the whole city.
Like it's
This is
literally
a
like
city
a
of
suburb.
400,000.
Well, I understand that, but I'm assuming if I'm out in, let's say, the southwest part of the town, and I need to go downtown, and the service is out there for me, I'm assuming that they will take me downtown.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the
They will
service,
pick me up from downtown
Yes.
and take me back to the southwest.
Yes,
part.
Yes,
but it's not picking you up from like your house, is it? Or are they still
It
using
could.
like the bus routes?
No. And that's the beautiful part. It is according to their website, rideshare is a transportation option that uses a smartphone application and a fleet of rideshare vehicles to provide a service that has no fixed schedules, no fixed routes, and an infinite number of on-demand stops. Passengers share their ride and save money.
Okay, that's how they're doing it.
$10 a week
Yes.
for a pass, unlimited pass.
Providing that your needs are within where they service now.
Okay, but
That's the kicker.
my next question: how many of these 10 vans we're going to do
Right.
are going to be handicap equipped?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that question.
Okay.
Because the city said if you don't, that their Arlington's Handy-Tran is still available option for those needing accessible vehicle and door-to-door service if you're handicapped.
Okay.
Because the question was, will customers who use wheelchairs still be able to use the VIA service? The answer is yes, but if that doesn't cut it for you, the program they have in place is still available.
Okay.
So I'm so glad you asked that question. So, yeah.
$10 a week, Jack.
Mhm.
I know.
So, and
And
available.
you don't have a car payment. You don't have insurance. You don't
Gas,
have
nothing. And it picks me up from my house. I could go grocery shopping. not have to worry about it.
Well, and that brings the next question. What if 4 of you are going grocery shopping, sharing this ride together, all your stuff's going to fit in the van?
Give me a size of van, yes.
Yeah.
I would say yes. But then again, this is considered a transit desert. They said it's the only city that size that doesn't have a comprehensive public transportation infrastructure.
Wow.
400,000. That is big. And Texas size, you know, it's spread. So, on that note, that wraps up this hour. On behalf of the RoadWorthy Drive crew, thanks for listening. This has been RoadWorthy Drive with Ken Chester.
RoadWorthy Drive with Ken Chester is a copyrighted presentation of the RoadWorthy Drive Radio Network. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or any other use is prohibited without the written consent of the Motor News Media Corporation.
The mosaic.
You know, I did not get to finish my rant from segment 2.
Go ahead.
The one part of that story about Wells Fargo that really got me upset. What they did to military personnel.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I have a true affection, and full disclosure.
And rightly so.
I drove a school bus to put myself through college.
Okay.
And one of my kids is a, what is his rank? I don't remember, but anyway, he's an Air Force pilot.
Okay.
And he's been to some of the war destinations that we've been in.
Okay.
And that kid has always had a special place in my heart.
Okay.
But anybody who serves in our military does not deserve to have that happen and lose a vehicle that way. And my rant is done. I'm done.
And you know what? I'm going to add on to that rant.
Okay.
And yet, that business, who honestly, each and every person that has an account with that business, does it willfully, does it willingly, and chooses to endorse that business, will still be in business despite what they did to our military men and women.
Well,
we're not going to solve this.
no, and I can argue that for days. So we're not going to do it. On behalf of the very energized RoadWorthy Drive crew, thank you all for listening. Stay tuned. We'll hit the second hour in just a little bit. And thanks for listening and watching. See you later.
Bye.